Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Readout. Today we are checking out malicious compliance. Story 1. Put my chair up, no problem. Long time lurker, first time posting. Writing from a phone, but formatting should be okay. Nothing big, but hopefully amuses a few. I work in a machine shop and I am mostly on the shop floor. I usually find myself in the computer room when I do any programming or alterations to an existing program. Well, today I found myself in the computer room to make some edits. The first thing I do when I take a seat is put it as low down as possible. I find it comfortable and it also stops anyone from trying to lower it when I am sat down. I am known for doing this so it does not come as a surprise to the others anymore. One of the engineers comes in to do his thing and notices I am sat low down. Normally he tells me it must be uncomfortable and leaves it as that. Well, today he told me it makes him feel uncomfortable and to please put the chair up. So I did. I raised it a couple centimeters so I was still pretty much sat on the floor. Did not specify how much to lift it. He just laughed, then got on with his work. Story 2. This has got to me the 4th or 5th time I've asked you to do this. No, actually you asked me once per my records that you asked me to start keeping since my performance review. I had a performance review on July 1st and my boss told me that I have a hard time keeping track of tasks. It's really not my fault since the company is too cheap to invest in a task management solution. We literally have to go off massive email chains, and when you have 30 people CC'd in an email with 25 of them not knowing the difference between reply and reply all, you end up with a lot of shit getting lost in the mix. Anyway, my boss told me that I needed to start keeping track of everything. Everything, you say? Every phone call. Every email. Every bit of communication for every goddamn task. With timestamps. Because apparently I am very forgetful and don't get anything done. I'm normally never this petty, but he gave me bad remarks across the board, so I figured, you know what, I ain't going down without a fight, especially when I'm being blamed for something that is not entirely my fault. Also, I know I am very effective as an employee because I get things done, but my boss doesn't seem to know that. So I spent the July 4th weekend developing a simple task manager to be used by only me. Every Vonage phone call gets automatically logged. Every email I receive, saved as a PDF and timestamped, time received, time opened, time that I completed reading the email. Got a package you're sending me? I'm logging that shit too, time the UPS/FedEx driver delivered it, time I brought it into the house, time I opened the package, time I threw out the packaging. I don't care if it takes me an extra hour each day. I'm logging everything. So today, he emails me saying this has got to be the 4th or 5th time I've asked you to do so and so task. It was my fucking time to shine. I responded with this. In regards to the task in question, I have received the following communication. Tuesday, July 25th, 2023, 11:18 a.m., phone call received from asking me to complete this task. Tuesday, July 25th, 2023, 12:08 p.m., task sent for review. Confirmed task pending review with your assistant. Emailed reminding him that the task was pending review. Friday, August 4th, 2023, 11:01 a.m., email received from asking me to. This is the 4th or 5th time asking me to complete this task. Friday, August 4th, 2023, 11:02 a.m., confirmed with boss assistant that the task was still pending review. Friday, August 4th, 2023, 11:03 a.m., confirmed with boss assistant that the task was never reviewed by boss. Friday, August 4th, 2023, 11:04 a.m., re-forwarded email to boss from July 25th, 2023, 12:08 p.m. reminding him that the task was pending review. You asked me once and it was completed within the hour. If you asked me about this task 4 to 5 times, I would told you 3 to 4 times that it was already pending review because it was completed the first time you asked. Asking me to keep a record of everything was a great idea because now I know that I am not the problem here. I haven't heard back from him since. Story 3. Decorate instead of doing my work. Sure. Told this story as a reply in r/anti-work and a few people mentioned it should be a post here. Several years ago, I was working for an organization, and they were having their annual holiday decorating competition between the different departments. There were a couple of departments that basically took turns winning every year because a few of the staff there went absolutely nutty with decorating. The departments gave a little budget toward this event, but a few staffers from those two departments put in their own dollar on top of the department funds and just created some insane, over-the-top displays. I saw pics from a few years. Some of them were very cool, but also probably took a few staffers a few days to set up, and probably cost at least $500 or more, for decorations. That's not counting the staff hours that went into it. So my department had its own new office that year. In previous years we had been in a small area behind another department, some people didn't even know we were there. But that year we were in a nice office space and on the ground floor. So my executive director decides we are gonna compete. I think she just wanted to show off to her boss. So she tells me, KG Capybara, since you'll be in the office working this weekend, you can make a good start on decorating the office for the competition. Me, I will be in the office this weekend, but that's because I'll be working on these projects. Remember, we need to be in a good place with these projects before the new year. Boss, well, no reason you can't do both. Spend a few hours decorating and the rest working. I had only planned to be in the office about 4 to 5 hours anyway, so a few hours decorating wouldn't leave me much time to devote to the projects. Me, I'd like to get these projects to a good place before our holiday. I'm also not much of a decorator. This is actually true. I moved 14 times in about 17 years, I think it killed any desire I may have had to decorate. And I'm a tomboy, not very feminine in how I dress or present myself, which I think always bothered boss lady, and not very good with decorating. Boss, are you refusing to help your co-workers with this? Note, refusing to help co-workers was a phrase she pulled out most any time someone pushed back on her ideas. She came from the business world to a different industry and wanted to incorporate business ideas that didn't always work. Me, nope, I'll try to spend some time decorating then. That weekend, I stopped at a dollar store and bought several rolls of wrapping paper, put it on the department credit card. When I went into the office, I spent about 2 or 3 hours wrapping everything I could think of that was a stable object, wrapped most of our desks, our filing cabinets, some bookshelves, some end tables we had in the front office area, basically making them unusable. Someone would have to break through the wrapping paper and ruin the decoration to get into their desk, or the filing cabinets, or the bookshelves. Everyone spent the next week not being able to functionally do some of their work because they couldn't get into their desk or filing cabinet. Our office had a very easy week right before the holiday. We didn't even place in the competition and I heard boss lady got scolded the next month by her boss because we were behind on the projects. Story 4. Laid off and replaced by 2 lazy privileged waffles. I used to be in charge of the printer room in a rather large company. We shipped a shit ton of product every day, and everything shipped had to have the accompanying printed label/documents. Nothing can even be loaded onto the trucks without this paperwork. Now this was in the olden days of the 90s, so we had 7 massive, 4-foot-tall dot matrix printers that did all the work. These printers were temperamental bastards, and if the paper jammed, the printer did not automatically stop printing. It would just keep pushing/jamming more and more paper into the machine until, if left untended, it would break down. Running the printer room was a 2-person job. When I started I trained for 2 full weeks with the 2 current printer room employees. One was being promoted, I was replacing him. It was a rough FN 2 weeks, let me tell you, getting the hang of the job, the various things you had to learn, do, etc. One thing that made it even more complicated was the fact that each printer had its own personality with its own problems. Another was the fact that a problem in one printer could have a different fix than the exact same problem in another. The job would be quiet for 45 minutes straight, during which we did routine maintenance and such, but was really slow and quiet and restful. Because this company processed its shipping orders in batches, once an hour. And then boy, on the hour, every hour, the batch of orders would go through and thousands of orders would come spitting out. Now, if you were on top of things and kept everything running smoothly, the orders would print out very neatly and quickly. But if you didn't know what you were doing, if you didn't maintain things just right, you'd get a backup and things would go to shit very, very fast. And when one machine went down you had to fix it fast, before the next one jammed, because guaranteed those machines would jam up multiple times on every batch print job. So I've been working the print room for several months, and things were great. Then my coworker gave his 2 weeks notice. We tried to train my replacement, but he was incredibly lazy and got fired fairly a few days after the end of his training. Which left me in the printer room alone. Then the bosses inform me that my position is being phased out, and I am going to be replaced by 2 employees transferred from a different department. So not only am I losing my job, but I have to train my replacements. And I desperately needed a good recommendation from this company, so I couldn't just quit or half-ass it. I quickly learned that both of these transfers are lazy and useless. They'd been with the company for decades, had friends in the head office, and knew their jobs were safe. I'd show them how to do something and they'd flat out laugh and say, "Yeah, I'm not doing that." Every day I'd be trying to train them and they would ignore me, chat with each other, leave to go sit in the cafeteria, leaving me to do a 2-person job alone. Luckily I was good enough to handle the workload, but it was annoying. Mindful of the fact that I needed a reference of this company, I kept extensive notes on each day's progress. I clearly documented every single instance of the replacements refusing to learn, even listen to my instructions. I also followed up daily with my direct supervisor, and he knew what was going on. And my notes went into the company files and were passed up the line. Despite my scathing reports, head office did nothing. Now it's my last day. This is the day the training process assigned for letting the newbies work alone, with no help or supervision allowed, to see how well they handle the job and the pressure. I was, in writing, forbidden to help them or answer any questions. As I expected, things fell to shit pretty much immediately, minutes into the first batch of orders. One of the biggest printers jammed, and the clueless twats had no idea how to fix the printer jam. Because they ignored me every time I tried to show them how. So they turned to me, and demand that I fix things. I'm sitting on a desk, coffee in one hand, an apple in the other, and smile and say, "Yeah, I'm not doing that." So one of them is yelling at me while the other is basically thumping uselessly on the printer like a gorilla that just found a candy machine. Then a second printer jams. Paper starts spilling out of the back of the first printer, which, if you knew the job, was a really bad warning sign. "Well, I'm going to go to the cafeteria, good luck," I say as I stand up. As I'm leaving I hear a third printer unch and jam up. I went to my supervisor and let him know what was happening. He said he not only expected as much, he had predicted so repeatedly to his superiors. He once again specifically forbade me from offering any help. So I went to the cafeteria and read my book for a little over an hour. Then my supervisor comes to me to let me know what happened. The entire printer room is down, every single printer either jammed up or actually broken. The company is losing thousands of dollars every single minute. One of the shipper/receiving supervisors finds me, all in a panic, begging me to get the orders printed. "Sorry, I'm not allowed to do that," I replied. Now several people are running around outside the cafeteria, all in a panic, running from place to place to figure out why they don't have any shipping orders. The chaos took hours to resolve. And I wasn't allowed to fix the problems. Anytime someone started giving me a hard time, my supervisor would intervene and show the memo from the bosses stating that I was forbidden to help in the printer room that day. I spent my entire last day at work drinking coffee, chatting with co-workers, and reading my book. The whole fiasco ended up costing the company tens of thousands of dollars. That's all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.